Hey there, my friends. This is Robin Hood here, bringing you another 2 versus 2 in Napoleon Total War. This is going to be against Gray Bida 2014 in front of that, and Wilster 4321. My ally is Chriseb, and this is on the Spanish Lakeside map. And I'm going to say right now, although it is Although it is statistically wise not, this is, in fact, and you'll see what I mean later in the battle, the bloodiest battle I have ever fought in Napoleon Total War. So this map, the reason I'm showing the deployment is just to kind of go over this. There is a lake here. There's a passageway around the lake that you can take units right through here. There's a flat section here, which usually in 2v2s one army fights. And then a large hill up here, which there are, I believe, 4 entrances to. One here, one in the back, and then it's mirrored on the other side. You see an entrance back there, and one right here. The rest of it are these cliffs that you can't go up. So Chris, obviously here, being Prussia, is going to go up and take the hill. That's essential. I'm going to send half my force up the hill, half into this valley to hold anything there. And the plan was to take the hill, and if they engaged me down here, sweep down. But it's not going to go that way. So my army, 5 lights, light foot, 3 of them, 2 rifles, and I have a ton of foot because of this map, and foot guards, 2 of them, and 1 unit of the Black Watch. Then I have 3 cav dragoon guards and 2 life guards. I believe one's going to go around the flank, and 1 artillery piece, a 5-inch howitzer. But we are going to go ahead and fast forward here through the deployment and get right to this epic battle. So as you can see right away, there goes Chris, and there goes my troops. We are going to rush up this hill. And now that things are in motion, I'm going to go ahead and hit play. You can see I have guys going to the valley first to block that off before I reinforce the hill, because Chris's whole army is flooding up here and taking on a huge line. And Chris, as a diversion, is going to immediately charge forward his cavalry, yeah, and his generals in with that, not to actually engage, just for support. There's a unit down here engaging this Ulan, which is Russia's general, but basically just stalling. And these guys, they brought a ton of infantry. This guy brought a ton of lifeguards. All of these are lifeguards and such. Just these guys, each of their armies was way more massive than either of ours. This Dutch guy here, pretty much, I don't want to say it like this because it was a valid tactic for this map. Pretty much spammed infantry though, or you could say brought a ton of it. This really, I mean, this isn't a spammy build, especially for this map. It just works well having more infantry because this is going to be a very tough battle up here. And once I see that he is marching around, let me show that. So you can see he's marching around. He's going to go up this back flank and reinforce. When I see that, I know that Chris is going to be the one taking the pounding. You can see they're setting up a line here, and he has his cav just slowing them down slightly, but now that is getting shot. So giant line there. My British rifles here are going to start taking some shots. Things are going to get interesting. I have some cav up there. Well, this guy's not guarding this flank, so you know what? Why not march some troops around? And that is going to help there. And then also my artillery is going to set up soon. But the rest of my troops, more so than before, are going to back up this hillside. And this unit back here is going to start running because at a walking pace they're not going to do anything. And back here, this guy forgot his Jaegers. It probably would have been better for us, actually, had he not. I am going to lose a cavalry unit. I'm probably going to miss it, which is why I'm saying it. Charging these guys, because generally Jaegers, you know, they're rifles. If you hit them with cav, they're gone. And like this, hitting them on the flank. But somehow they rallied, and they ended up taking out my cavalry later. But you can see the smoke building up. The fighting is confusing. You can't actually really see in here. Unless you zoom in the trees, and there's the first artillery. Go in like that. And one thing real quickly. All my master is down. I guess it's just playing more loudly for me. That is strange. But yeah, my artillery is up and firing again. Let's see, get this right. There we go. That's a better view. So you can see there's a battle line here, which at the moment we are winning. But there's some problems with this. This massive army can't all fit on this front, so we have some guys back behind who aren't going to help, and I had to turn these guys off fire at will so that they don't shoot these men in the back. That is not what we want them to do. The artillery is blasting away. Here comes some of my cavalry. I'm going to charge these Uhlans just to make sure they can't do anything there. These musketeers are routing, you see. But basically up here there are some units as well. There was a cav charge. You can see the remnants of that, and these guys are going to march forward. But basically, remember this line we are at now with this original battle. And over here you can see all this fighting going on. I am shelling these lifeguards because these guys are really deadly units right in the front line, and he's got some reserves too. And my British troops are lining up on the flank, and look at this just giant horde of infantry. This is a ton of reinforcements, and it's going to be a really tough battle. And at this point, there's nothing more you can really do but watch this. I mean, basically it's giant lines. We're going to end up pushing out of the trees and things get interesting. There's the artillery fire. This is probably the most interesting thing. I thought there was a route up the back over here. But once I notice there's not, I am going to actually send these guys back this direction. And look at all the stray rounds just flying over here. But look at that, getting some really nice volleys up onto the flank here and routing units. And this guy is sending down a militia unit to stop us. That actually isn't a bad choice at this point. He might have done better throwing down a lifeguard, which he is kind of doing. That was a close shot. But, you know, these militia, look at that hill advantage they have. That's a perfect position for them to help, because in the front here, they're just going to get mowed down. On the flank, as long as he keeps this lifeguard close, they can do some damage before they go down. They have the way better position, but you can see soon I'm going to be moving these guys. Got all this, and look. Oh my gosh, that is a ton of reinforcements. This is going to be one heck of a battle when you get this many troops, all of our armies, and eventually these 3 units too, all into an area like this big. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So before this guy could reinforce, though, he has to wait so his men don't get tired, because he has run from way back right about here all the way over and up this hill. So his men will be worthless in a fight if they are tired, hence why he's taking his time. And, I mean, quite frankly, Russia is holding at the moment. These guys seem to be out of ammo, so they are going to charge forward, it would seem, probably to their death. I wonder if they'll make it to the line. Here they go. They're pretty tired, running slowly. And looks like they are going to make it. Probably going to rout pretty quickly, though. But you can already see there's been quite a bit of casualties in this section alone. And one thing, you know, you can see quite a few casualties over here. Not anything incredible at the moment. But there's definitely been a share of losses. And the thing with this battle, all the troops are so closely together that they all get the morale bonuses from having other troops near them. So these guys are fighting to the last. So this is just going to add up. You can see we've got quite a bit of fallen troops all through the woods up here. So this is just the beginning of the battle, and you guys will see later on when I do a full look over what has gone down. You guys will see. It's pretty crazy. But over here, that was my cav charge. They do an initial morale shock. These guys like rally, and this guy puts down his line infantry, and yeah, that's just kind of a death valley for me. So that that cavalry action did not work. But you can see I've pushed up the hill on the flank here. These militia are still actually holding, but now it's like point blank range, and they're going to go pretty soon. Really, I should have just charged them. They probably would have routed on the charge. Save some ammo for me too. And I'm still targeting these lifeguards. Don't want them causing problems. And it looks like at this point this guy's going to try and fall back. Yep, there we go. But you can see up here on the far right, Mike has made a push through the woods. You can see casualties as the combat has progressed. He has been slowly pushing the Russians back, and now the bodies are gathering up here as these lines duke it out in the woods. And it's hard to see. I mean, up here you can kind of see this forest isn't as bad as some of the ones on the other maps. Some of them you don't get the small trees like this. I'm looking, I don't think there's any, but you know, sometimes you get the trees like this height normally, and it actually hides these flags, so you can't see where your troops are. It makes it very tough. And I have a battle like that to show you guys soon, but you can see, yeah, Chris here is pushing through. These are some more musketeers trying to stand in the way. Can kind of see the Prussians back there. And let's see if anyone drops right here. Oh, nope. Yeah, that guy got domed. There we go. So he's going to route pushing through. Sadly, it's a little bit late for that. And it's too little because now the Dutch are here, the Netherlands. And they are here in force. They're setting up artillery. That's actually the Russian. Where is the Dutch howitzers? There they are. These guys are going to be a nuisance. So you can see we've seized this flank. There has been quite a bit of combat down here. You can see all the results from that. I will now show you. You guys can see all of this. You know, this was a bloody fight. There's quite a few casualties in the woods. But now you've got this mass of troops pouring in. I mean, just look at how many soldiers are there, and there's still reserves. And look at how small the battlefield has gotten. This is where our skirmishers are. Right there. And look at that sun in the background, that glare. That is actually very pretty. Look at that with the shadows on the troops. That there is a cinematic moment, my friends. But yeah, let's put that back to normal. You can see pushing up the hill, and here comes this horde of Dutch troops. There's the artillery. And look at this glitch. When the artillery hits the hits these walls, it treats it as if it's flat ground, so it really stretches out the craters, which are supposed to be more like what you see in this area, like right there and such. But yes, you can see this battle going now, and what's going to happen, we also have too many troops, so we're going to form a double line back here, and this is good. What this Dutch guy here did actually is a pretty sound tactic. He's going to charge some of his troops in. He sent in, looks like some Jaegers, because at this point the skirmishers aren't really helping him. Line infantry and grenadiers. Here he's sending in another line infantry. Behind that, he's got so many troops, he's going to line up another line and start shooting our troops while they are engaged. Of course, we can do the same, but he has the uphill. And right here, at this point, you know, yes, I'm shooting my men in the back, but these guys already have so few troops, they're going to rout. And this is a massive horde of troops. I've got to whittle it down. So at this point, it was necessary. And you can see Chris here is slightly holding on. He's got some troops in here still alive, skirmishing, and he is holding against that. And I've still got some pretty decent units. But at this point, Chris is going to send in his 8th Life Regiment, try to stop this while I keep firing with my foot guards, and this unit here has won its melee fight. So these guys are going to charge forward around the flank. Just a second, and actually come down behind this mass. I believe we rout these grenadiers really quickly. Yeah, because they are now facing downhill, so all of our shots are landing on them. Yeah, and now we are going to move these guys around behind. You can see I'm turning them. And we're just going to go in for a hammer and anvil and just kind of sandwich these finding final Dutch units there. So you can see this area of the battlefield has kind of cleared out for the moment. And here comes the reinforcements. You can see the men marching forward into battle from their safety. You can see all the smoke over there building from this. Although it's actually dying down, and I moved up my artillery. I am moving them up because they were back there, not really in range. We're hitting my own troops. But look at that. These guys are getting crushed in here. There's not going to be a ton they can do. But at this point, I mean, just look at how many bodies there are on this battlefield right now. An incredible amount of death, and here comes more troops to add to it. Everyone, this battle, I'm telling you now, comes down to one unit on one unit. Everybody here, tons more troops are going to die right here. So this is just going to pile up. You can see already the bodies are just absolutely everywhere. You come down here, you can't really see them because of the grass, but now if I look at it like that, you can see the giant line right there, and look at that mass. Just tons of people dead all over the place. It comes up into the woods here, and you can see it's still going to progress. Look at that. Look at how many people there are just lying dead or dying throughout this whole section. So that, my friends, and look at that shot. That was pretty, except for those guys. That's why this is such a bloody battle. And at this point, there's still some grenadiers here. We're going to take them down. We've got troops, but all of our troops, they've been fighting the whole battle. This guy has still got, you know, fairly fresh troops. And over here, our last guys are going down. Right here, I've got my Black Watch taking on some line infantry. They're going to win that. But I believe this Life Guard is going to come in and screw up their day. So our forces are really getting whittled down. We don't have a lot. They have way more troops. Had way more troops. The reason we've pushed them up this far so far is because there was more of us engaged at the beginning. And, you know, my taking of the flank forced that guy to pull back. There's just a lot of things, a lot of slight micro things, like the hammer and anvil over here and such. We're going to push all the way up to this line. All the way up, but you can see these guys starting to go down. Our men are going down. Look at that. That was a brutal flanking volley. And once again, just notice whenever I do these close-ups, just how many people have died. Once again, you come back here. It's just, it keeps going. The field of death from this battle is pretty incredible. I mean, it's just crazy. It just looks like way more people died. You know, back here you've got fair share of losses from the beginning too. Goes all the way down and around. Massive piles down here. All the way up to what now is the battlefield. So this really was an epic battle. I mean, look at all that. You guys can probably see from up there. Look at how many people just... It's because everyone's so dang condensed. Crazy artillery rounds going off everywhere. Now, since it's completely a gunfight, the smoke is getting pretty thick in this area. And look, this guy, this is going to play a factor. He's still got these units. And they're pretty close to full. I mean, they've got a lot of troops left. And if you look at our guys, some of our units, this one here is doing well, 82 men. This one, 113. It's pretty much just my army left since Chris took the initial charge. But look at that. I mean, my men are going down. This guy's doing fairly well. That artillery shot actually is going to help us quite a bit. But in comes some troops for a charge. My Black Watch, brave as they are, can't hold out against a lifeguard foot that outnumbers them and some. Even though they are militia, you know, they're going to play a part. They're going to help. So this is where some canister shot goes in from Chris, and his general is going to go forth and stall these lifeguards long enough for this unit here of foot to turn and shoot them. And over here you can see I'm pressing in on the flank. These guys, they are nothing to be messed with. If they collapse this flank, we could be in trouble. These artillery are hurting us, but right now, it looks like we've got it. It looks like we have the battle, except now these guys are coming up. But you can see this battle is coming down to the last, and you can see now if I zoom in, even more dead people. I mean, it is slightly disturbing just how many, whoops, that's a bit much, how many bodies there are across this whole thing. They come back to here. They're not as thick. In these woods, they are, especially with this fight going in, extremely thick. It's about as thick in here as it is in this section. I mean, you just look at that and you just see a massacre. Then, like I said, it goes down here into the woods. You know, there's all this killing down here. This battle just was extremely devastating on all armies. But right here, we're slowing down these lifeguard. They're dropping. They're down to 32, 31, soon to be 30. And our foot are going to continue firing here. My general's still alive. And look at this. These guys, my men are out of ammo. If these guys get to fire, I'm screwed because they are very accurate Russian Jaegers. Nothing to be messed with. They get a great volley on my foot guards. I'm going to do better in melee against them because that's not their strength. So that's what we're going to do. Look at this guy getting run through by a sword. Tons of great combat going on. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. Can see the last troops coming in. These guys won. We've got artillery. It looks like we're going to win. I mean, we have the artillery here, artillery there, our general. I've got a unit of foot backing up. I've got foot guards charging into melee. When that happens, it's not going to go well for you in most situations. So it pretty much looks like a victory. These guys, he's not going to line up and shoot. He's just going to continue charging. My general's coming in to make sure these guys can't get off the canister shot that they want to. So we're going to rout this artillery. That's my artillery actually firing, I believe. Yeah. So that was dangerous. I should have stopped them. I don't think they hit anything. But this here, this general unit of the Dutch is going to charge through these lines without really taking any casualties. And it's going to be interesting. So you can see we've got these two units against these Jaegers now. These Jaegers are going to start running. And that's pretty much it. All this guy has left is his general. So you guys can see it was an extremely bloody battle. I mean, now that the fields are silent, just take a look at that. The masses slaughtered. As you go through here, you guys can't really see unless I go down, but you know, there's just people dead or dying everywhere. Well, in Shogun they would be dead or dying, in this not so much. So look down here. This unit could come back from routing because they you know, they have quite a bit of men. And I don't want that, so I'm having my general chase them down. And at this point, I brought my general back. I should have kept chasing them, because right when I turn away, they come back. And instead of leaving it, I make the mistake of charging back in. So that's going to kill my general. And over here, look at this. I have 93 men. This guy has 9 men in his general unit. It's going to kill these guys. This is going to kill my general. And these guys are actually going to rout when they get tired coming up the hill. So that's going to be that. But this general unit, obviously, is going to rout that artillery. Mine's still alive. But we're going to fast forward just to make this quick. So you can see this guy rallied himself, you know, make sure he stays alive. Here I'm going to get a volley with the canister. Bring these guys down to 7 men.
Our men are running, sir.
These guys in the back are going to route climbing the hill. So right now it's just my foot unit of 93. These guys are going to route. This guy is going to take his general and try to save them. So yeah, the massive fight on the hill is now concluded. Only the fallen still remain. It was a pretty crazy battle. Pretty darn crazy. Fighting, we pushed them all the way back to here, and we won. We won. But he still has his general, so we gotta chase it down. With this foot unit of 93 troops. And look at that, that's quite a bit of guys. So, I mean, really this battle was over. This guy tried to rally, but since it wasn't the same general, it doesn't work quite as well. These guys are gone, these Jaegers. They don't want any part in this. They don't want to keep on with the dying. Look at that. Look at all those troops just running over the hill from this battle. Just a long line running away, and I'm pretty sure we probably have the same. Yep, going over the hill back there. I don't know where they would go. But basically, what just happened, this guy charges me with his general, and I'm charging back, hoping to get a charge bonus. Look at this. These guns are like spears. They're bayonets. So technically that should kill Cav. He's going to walk through my lines just fine without fighting or taking any casualties. Look at that, just walking. So at this point, I'm going to form a really thick block. Because, you know, if I have a thick block, he can't walk through my lines, right? So right here, when he comes, the block's going to stop him. And what? Do I get a few kills? But look, he's still just going to walk through. And my men are going to run. They win the battle. Of course, they bragged like crazy. I guess they deserve it. But especially when you see the stats, I consider this a win. Look. They killed, this guy killed slightly more than Chris, but they each deployed. They had more troops than us. This guy had 100 more than us. This guy had 300. They had 400 more troops total. I killed 1,500 and he killed 1,000. It's 2,500 there. They killed not even 2,000. So we killed way more than they did. Way more. They took way more losses. We outmaneuvered them. We pushed them all the way up the hill. And thanks to this game's mechanic, and I'm not mad about it, it was a good battle. They can be happy about their win, but 93 men couldn't stop 6 horses, even when they were in a thick block with bayonets, which are a lot like spears on a gun. I couldn't form, you're going to say form square formation. It wouldn't let me because I was out of ammo, and for some reason you can't do that when you're out of ammo. Had I been able to form square, he would have hit it, but apparently the infantry in this game can't handle 6 cav unless they are in square formation, when it just doesn't quite make sense. I feel he should have died, feel we should have won, but I'm showing this because it was a crazy epic battle. They won, good game to them. Good game to Chris for being my ally. And thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time with more.